Hi everyone, this is Jenny Black. Before we get started in our class today, what I'd like to do is review a little bit of basic blending skills and correcting skills. That way some of you that haven't colored in a while will have a little bit of a reminder, or those of you who haven't colored much at all, this will give you a little bit of an idea on how the alcohol markers work. So this is the worksheet you're actually going to be getting in your class. So I'm going to color this butterfly, and we're also going to talk about layers as I'm coloring. Here are the markers that I've chosen. No matter what brand you've chosen, it doesn't matter, but you do want 3 to 4 colors in the same color family or similar color tones. So I've just decided to use a B05, a B02, a B01, and a B000. So these are the ones that I'm going to be using. If you happen to have Spectrum Noir, they have excellent blue turquoise color combinations that work great with this. Just look on your suggested color combo sheet and pick a combo and follow along. So I'm going to get started, and what I like to do is I like to do a little study or a plan, kind of map out where I want to go with my color. So I'm going to start off with my very lightest color, and I'm going to come in here because this is a back layer. I want to have the back layer of my butterfly to be a little bit darker than the front layer where it meets. So right here where my butterfly wings meet, I want to have this one back here darker than this one, which is going to pop this and make it look closer. But this is just to remind me basically where I want my color. It also wets my palette so that I have a little bit of a wet surface, and it helps blend my colors together. Okay, so there's my first color, B000. It just gives me a plan, and so now I know where I'm going. I left white out here because this is where my highlight is, and I left white out here where my highlight is. I made it nice and solid and dark down in here because that's where I want my shading. And again, I made it dark down in here where I want my shading. So that's just our base. Now I like to color dark to light. If you like to color light to dark, that's fine. Go ahead and color in your in the procedure that you normally color. I'm going to color dark to light. So there's my lightest color. I like to have the wet base wet while I add my next color. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to be nice and solid in here with no white space between my strokes. And I'm just laying a little bit of dark color on here. Make sure there's no white holes. And then I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. If I go outside the lines, I don't really care. This is just teaching technique. It's a little tricky with a camera in front of you. Okay, so there is my B05, or my darkest color. Now I'm going to step down to my medium color, which is my B02, and I'm going to add that in. This I'm going to blend in, and how I'm blending is the lighter colors have more solvent in them, or more alcohol. So if I color this on top of this darker color, it's going to dilute the darker color. So what I do is I color in circles over the inside edge of the previous color, diluting the edge of that and pulling it out into the rest of my butterfly. Notice I'm overlapping, but I'm not covering up all of the dark blue. My circles have to get smaller up here because it's a smaller area, but that's okay. If it does not blend well, this is a huge tip, you guys. If it does not blend well, you get like a line in here and you don't like it, go back to the previous color and re-wet that previous color. Now it's going to blend much quicker because you have more wetness to blend together. See how much faster that went? I'm going to do this one later because I like to work with things that are wet, so I just do one wing at a time. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my B01, which is my next lighter one. Again, I'm going to color in circles over the edge of the previous color, diluting the edge of that color and pulling it out into my butterfly. And then I can go to my fourth color if you have one. Some people like to just color with 3 colors. I prefer to color with 4. Again, I'm covering over the edge of the previous color, pulling it out to my edge. And I would repeat the same process with this side of my butterfly. I'm going to show you really quick an easy way to correct mistakes. And a lot of people don't know my little hint that I like to use. And so there I went outside the line, and I grabbed myself a blender pen. The biggest tip that I can give anybody while they're correcting is to put clean, absorbent paper underneath what you're coloring. This is going to give your mistake a place to go to. The ink doesn't just disappear. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll try to push it back into the image. Well, if I can get rid of that ink, I'm going to get rid of it. And so I put absorbent paper. You can use clean cardstock, or you can use paper towels, whatever you want to use. But now I take my blender pen and I just wet it, and you can see how it's getting lighter. And now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to be very patient, which the video doesn't have enough time to wait. So I'm going to sit here and wait until this dries, and then I'm going to dilute it some more. If I continue to erase or dilute my mistake and keep going until it's completely gone, it's going to be so wet out here, it's going to start bleeding inside my butterfly, and it's going to make a big old mess inside my butterfly, which I don't want. So you have to take baby steps. You have to wait for it to dry, and then you go back and you dab it a little bit more, pushing it through to the scrap paper underneath. And eventually it will go away. You can see the blue has come through to my scrap paper underneath, and after a few tries it will go away. So that's my tip on correcting and basic blending. Let's get on to the next video. Have a great day.